Welcome to Lesson 3. In this lesson we will discuss the rules protecting the victims of non-international armed conflict or the victims of civil wars, as they were previously qualified. Non-international armed conflict constitutes today the majority of armed conflicts, but unfortunately the rules adopted by states to protect the victims of non-international armed conflict are far less developed than the rules protecting victims of international armed conflicts. In this lesson, we will discuss first of all the notion of non-international armed conflict and examine the different types of situations that qualify as non-international armed conflicts. We will then have an overview of the development of the rules. The rules regulating civil wars or non-international armed conflict are the result of a long process, a long story, and in fact it took decades before states accepted the idea that international rules should apply to non-international armed conflict. For decades, non-international armed conflicts have been considered as purely domestic matters in which no international rules were applicable. This has gradually changed, and we now have a set of important provisions that regulate the protection of victims of non-international armed conflicts. We will finally examine the substantive rules protecting victims of non-international armed conflicts. In general, these rules are very similar to the rules protected victims of international wars, but they are much less developed, and there are still a number of differences between these two regimes of protection. Thank you.